The big idea. So, what is this big idea that we always talk about? What is that final big idea that you're going to make happen? And I think because of so much of stress that goes into the big idea, we sort of miss out on the small ideas. So, what small ideas and big ideas that you have are businesses or ventures that you could get into? Now, I think we all wait for that big idea, and we're so constructing this big idea into something that is so big that we miss out on the little revenue streams or little things that can make us that money. Now, it's almost like when you think about doing a video, when you think about publishing something, you want to get it right. You just want to get it perfect. So whenever you think about a business idea and you think of moving out of your job and doing business, you're thinking about that big idea. And just that word, the big idea, overwhelms you, makes you uncomfortable, makes you go crazy. And a lot of times this big idea is so big that you never take that step. So let's start with the small ideas. The small ideas are the ones that actually are fun for you. Like when I was in college, and I have to say this, like I was just recently talking to someone, and I ended up mentioning that I've been working from the age of 15, and it's very, very unusual for someone in India to start working at such a young age. So I can't even remember the last time that I depended on someone for daily stuff. It's not like I can't receive, but I can't even remember the last time that I depended on my day-to-day earning or my living on someone, because I've just been on my own and I've always created. So I'm going to say that a lot of times these small ideas or small things that keep you going, and sometimes these are things that are just fun. Like when I was in university, I bought and sold bikes. So I just found a really good source to buy refurbished or repaired used bikes. There's this old Chinese man who fixed broken bikes and sold them, and that was his living. And I remember buying a bike for $15 from him, and I remember always seeing on my university billboard that there were always ads for $35 and $55 for a bike. And whilst I was studying, I always paid for my own rent, my expenses and all of that. So for me, making that extra money to pay off my rent, to pay off my bills, to do that little extra, to spend on yourself, just go shopping, buy some nice clothes. I wanted to create that money myself. I really didn't. My education was being paid for, but my living expenses is something that I wanted to make on my own. So I would always find opportunities everywhere, from babysitting to cooking for someone, which was a disaster, by the way. FYI, never ever asked me to. Now I'm a great cook, but back then I couldn't cook to save my life. But I did a lot of these small things because they just gave me a lot of joy. And then I stopped doing things that didn't give me joy. And I noticed that the things that gave me joy were the things that actually made me more money. And a lot of times when you reach out for the lower hanging fruits, when you reach out for these small things that make you money, when you reach out for that one little thing that you feel is so reachable, achievable, like you just saw a little inquiry somewhere, or you saw someone selling something, you saw yourself buying something at a good price, and you make that small little transaction, it gives you so much confidence, it gives you joy, it gives you that whole thing. And similarly, so you find opportunities on the internet. You find yourself finding products on the internet. You might find yourself being able to sell products on the internet. Like I sold a whole bunch of things on eBay back in the US, and it made me so much money. So I found little things that were not there. I've always followed a trend of I always found what was not there in a place and brought that and made it available there. So like sometimes I sold silver jewelry, and sometimes I sold little things that were not available. So you've got to just find what is it that excites you, what is it that's fun for you. And sometimes it's that small idea, that little baby step. Sometimes it's an affiliate marketing, sometimes it's creating a website, sometimes it's writing for somebody, sometimes it's going on Fiverr.com and finding that you have a skill to maybe write, there are thousands of tasks there. And sometimes when you see someone doing a certain thing, you'll say, I can do that. So start with something small that you're good at. And I think it's always important to first find your strength. So the big idea, leave it for later. Let's look at the small ideas. Write down the 10 small ideas that you really, really want to run after. So And anytime you start a business, let's say you found your big idea, right? Let's say you've already started it, right? Every day I want you to ask your business, what can I do today? What creative idea can I contribute to my business today? Every day there's something that you can give your business. Every day there's some innovation you can add to your business. Sometimes it's a marketing strategy. Sometimes it's how you portray it. Sometimes it's an Instagram post. Sometimes it's a Facebook post. And sometimes it's a live video on Facebook which goes crazy viral. Like I have a video of mine that went crazy viral and now has 370,000 views. And I think a few months from now, weeks from now, it's going to be even more. Like I remember seeing it 10 days ago and it was 269,000 views. So a lot of times there are things that you'll just do and they just gain momentum. They get a life on their own and you never know where it leads you or where it just ends up. So never ever limit yourself. If there's something that you feel like writing about, you feel like blogging about, if you're just a foodie and you feel like blogging about food, go ahead and do it. I know people making tons of money doing that. I know people who have started reviewing websites just because they loved eating and loved visiting places. They started a reviewing website and now they're doing really well. So find your small idea. Find that one thing that tickles you. Now, it could just be writing about different things that you've experienced. Soon enough, you'll have people contacting you and saying, can you review my restaurant? Can you review my salon? Can you review my spa? And you'll be writing reviews for people. And you'll be probably writing reviews, selling ads on your website, monetizing it like crazy. You could be doing videos of places you visit, right? And you could be putting that on Facebook or YouTube. And very, very soon, you'll have people who are paying you money to visit their city, their spa, their hotel, and you could be having the most glamorous paid job. So find what is your small idea. And sometimes you'll get really silly ideas, like when you write down your list, and that list is not something you sit and write now. You may get 3 lousy ideas right now. And suddenly when you're in the shower, you get 10 more. And suddenly when you're somewhere else, you get 3 more. So always make sure that you have something where you write down your silly ideas, your great ideas, because when you institute them and put them out into the universe, they will go and find, they're like little things, like little magnets. These ideas and these thoughts go out into the universe and they attract those opportunities, people, and then you're open and receptive to it. So the other thing is also to ask people how and what they do. So find, people, what they do on Facebook, look at your friends, look at colleagues, look at random people and what they're doing in their life. Sometimes you could find someone being really, really random and you will find that they have such a unique idea that you really like. So keep your eyes and ears open. If you look at only your big idea, you miss 100 small ideas. And it's sometimes that one small idea that could be your jackpot idea. Sometimes the big ideas are all taken. And sometimes the big ideas take so much energy, they may take you like 10 years to achieve. And I'm not saying don't do that. I'm just saying maybe your small ideas will catapult you to that level way, way faster. And don't be insecure about losing something if you parted with maybe a part of your idea. So let's say sometimes you have an idea, right? Like I have an idea for a specific service and I realize that I'm not very tech savvy. So I welcome to get a partner into my business or in this whole idea, and I share, let's say, what money I make, but I still made that 50%. So you never let go of an idea. You find someone who can institute it for you. You find a compatible energy who is what you're not, what your business needs. And I hope you kind of got that, because a lot of times we don't know that we need a partner because we think we can do it all, because we want it all and because it's my idea, so why should I share it? But sometimes you could have 10 ideas and have 10 different partners work with you, and you've already set those engines in some sort of a momentum into the universe, and they just create their own life. So never ever ignore a brilliant idea. And sometimes it may not be time for you to institute it right now. Now may not be the time. There may be a time later on when you feel, now is the time. Now I want to do it. So never ever not write down your ideas. Write them down, type them out, create a place where you can always update this. And if there's something that is just creatively bursting out of you, make sure that you put it into some portion somewhere. If it's about a topic, just keep writing. I published a book some time back, and that book is loved by so many people. Everyone who's been in a relationship or is going to be in a relationship, as children who get into relationships, love my book, The Love Mirage, because that book was written over a series of bored timelines when I was just sitting in a restaurant perhaps and just bored, and I was just, there was creative energy bursting out of me. So sometimes you just may write one chapter and you've let it gone and you've not written for 6 months, and it's all right to do that. You may think that I got to start my book, finish it, and that's that. A lot of times you put 10% or 2% of an effort into something, but maybe after 4 years it turns into some form. It turns into something. So your small ideas are small little nuggets of gold, are little specks of gold that actually come together and give you something that you probably never imagined that you could create. So maybe now's the time to look at your small ideas and pay attention to the little stuff. And sometimes it could get you money, and sometimes it could just give you joy, and sometimes it could give you a lot of fame and no money. Do not decide that it is not giving me what I wanted it to give me. Just take it into motion, make it big, and then see how you can monetize it. Like, even if you look at like the story of Facebook, it was started just for fun. It was just an idea. And now it makes tons of money, right? I mean, it makes more money than most ventures I know. So sometimes you've just got to follow your idea and not worry about where am I going to get the money from? How is the money going to show up in this business? So you do it, and either you're getting some kind of a recognition or there's a purpose it serves. There's a concept to it, but follow it. Don't ignore it. Sometimes these brilliant small ideas come from the universe. So when you've actually set out these thoughts of creating something, these ideas come to you in the form of divine guidance that you think was actually a brilliant idea. It actually comes to you from the universe. That's why it comes from nowhere. So never ignore it, savor it, put it down, jot it down, and one day when it's time, institute it.